Escape global music. What are you escaping from?
Elm City, stupid.
What up, what up, what up? It's your guy, D to the A to the R to the N, bars. And you're back with another episode of The Bars Report. That's right, my friends, The Bars Report. And man, today, we're going to be talking about all this and more today on The Bars Report. Beanie Sigel, man. Beanie Sigel doing interviews, man. And you know I'm around for him. It's crazy how this whole Roc-A Wars, I call them the Roc-A Wars. It's like any single individual that you take out of RocAFella, they could write their own book. They got their own chapters, and all of it comes together like chronicles, man. Like, yo, it's crazy. So today we're going to be talking about the Beanie Sigel Chronicles. We're going to be doing the Beanie Sigel Chronicles. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Broad Street Bully. So the Broad Street Bully, Beanie Sigel, he came out and he was pretty much saying, you know, they were going through his history and stuff like that. And one of the questions that was asked of him was, they asked him, they was like, yo, what did you think of Cameron becoming vice president? He was like, yo, that whole situation was crazy. He tried to get in touch with Jay, but Jay was overseas. He finally got in touch with Jay, like, yo, what was going on? Like, yo, what's up with this? Like, if anybody deserves the position of the vice president of RocAFella, it should be Memphis Bleek. I mean, he was always Jay's guy, the right-hand man, the next one in charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, the next one coming up. Always held it down for RocAFella. So it was a shock to everybody. Dame Dash rebutted. I think a lot of it was communication, but Dame Dash was saying that everybody was a vice president. He was trying to make everybody a vice, not everybody, but he was trying to make Cam a vice president because he had his own label. He was trying to make Beanie Sigel a vice president because he had his own label. You know what I mean? And then Bleek would have eventually taken over for Jay, but Jay never could have retired because allegedly Dame Dash was saying that Jay-Z wrote for Memphis Bleek. And that's backed up by Beanie Sigel. Beanie Sigel was like, yo, if you listen to the rhymes, like, you hear it. You know what I'm saying? You definitely hear it. He was giving, he put it like this. He said that he was giving Memphis Bleek the alley-oops. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was giving him, because he was like, yo, me and Jay in the booth, two titans going back and forth. Bleek couldn't stand it. Bleek couldn't stand it. You gotta hang in there, man. Beanie Sigel will come to the studio, and he would have 4 songs already done with Jay-Z, right? And then he would come back a week later, and then all of a sudden, Bleek would have his verses up there. He's like, yo, when did these happen? You know what I'm saying? And then when you listen to the lyrics, yeah, it's clear. It's clear. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. Do you think Jay-Z was writing for Memphis Bleek? I mean, Bleek has already admitted it, but to what extent? Give me a percentage. 10%, 30%, 50%, or 100%. Let me know what you think in the comments. Another thing that he said that was interesting, one of my favorite, I'd say probably my favorite album by Beanie Sigel would be the Becoming, right? Becoming is fire, top to bottom. A lot of controversy around this album. See, the way Beans had it planned out, he wanted the album to drop on his on the day that he was released from prison because he had to do a year and a day. But this is during the time of the Roc-A-Fella breakup. Everybody's pulling away in different directions. And the album was not only leaked, but it was put out without his permission. And he claims that he didn't want to choose between Dame Dash or Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, he chose going with Jay-Z. But the album was put out under Dame Dash Music Group. Ugh. That's rocky, man. Beans also went on to tell his stories about what it's like. I thought it was interesting to know what it's like to be locked in a hole. You know, like when you're locked in prison. Because he got sent to the hole because business over the phone when he was locked up about album release dates, the next single, when it was going to drop. Said he went back to a cell. Boom. Ended up in the hole. Even during that album, he said he put Bum B to sleep. Because they back then, so it was like in Texas, they were sipping lean, you know, Memphisian codeine. And they would, you know, it was like Xanax, and you know, you mix it with the scissor, you know what I'm saying? And like, nobody was really talking about Purple Rain. That's the track on the album. The first rappers to really talk about it was, I think, 3 6 Mafia. 3 6 Mafia, sipping on some scissor. That was probably the first time you've actually ever heard that. You know what I'm saying? Or heard rappers actually partaking in this particular type of drug. So in Philly, they called it pancakes and syrup, and in Texas, they just called it syrup. So when Bum B and Beanie Sigel linked together in the studio, you know what I mean? He said it was a crazy session, to say the least. Crazy session, crazy album. You know, he was asked if, because Dame Dash said that, you know, Jay-Z ruined Beanie Siegel's career. Here's where the whole controversy comes into play. Here's where things ain't really adding up, right? So if you're saying Jay-Z ruined your career, how? I mean, Jay-Z gave you a career. All right. So, from my opinion, from my outside looking in, right? And Jay-Z also said this too when he was asked about, you know, back in the day when this was first a topic of discussion, right? When this was first relevant. This is all old news, mind you. It's all just resurfacing now because older rappers getting asked older questions, and it's reuniting the Roc-A-Fella wars, the hip hop beef, or the hip hop breakup of a band, of a group, of a collective of just incredible MCs. You know what I'm saying? It was tough to watch, man, because Roc-A-Fella had it on Smash. For those of you that don't know, Roc-A-Fella really had it on Smash. So anyway, at a point, Beanie Sigel was disgruntled, and he even ended up working with 50 Cent, you know, to go against Jay, to despite Jay. You know, the two of them had a little back and forth on wax, all on wax. They solved it. They pieced it out, though. Everything's fine today. But during this time, Jay-Z rebuttal, he was just like, Beanie Sigel never once went platinum. Never went platinum. Had a record label. Had a clothing line. Put him on tour without a single when he first met him. Put him on a whole platform. The world. But I give credit to Beanie Sigel too, because this is before social media. You know what I'm saying? It took a lot to get somebody popping without social media. So this is all word of mouth. So this kid from Philly, you know what I'm saying? He already had a reputation, because back then you had to be what you rapped about. Like, you had to be authentic. You really had to be that. Let's just leave it at that. You really had to be that. So if you're talking about it, if you're rapping about it, you should have credibility in the street to back it up. So Beanie Siegel's street credibility, along with his crazy bars, street bars, yeah, he already had it. So Jay-Z pretty much scooped this guy up and put him on. Never went platinum. Never really made back the investment that was put towards him. So I mean, at some point, man, you got to look in the mirror, ask yourself, like, is it you or is it me? Because I don't know. We all got 24 hours in a day, man. We all got decisions to make. Beanie Sigel had one of the best careers ever. He might be, you know, on a bus, or no, he might be on a truck cooking fish. It's probably some delicious fish. But like, my man was one of the top MCs at that time. Like, let's not forget when the whole Jay-Z and Nas beef came in, the debate came up. You know what I'm saying? Who's the better MC? Was it Beans or was it Hove? Now, chart wise, you know, it was always Hove. And now here's where things get funny. So, he was asked, why did Jay-Z always drop around the same time that he dropped? I don't really see it like that. He was just like, yo, back then it was physical copies. If Jay-Z and Beanie Sigel are dropping an album within the same time period, you got $20. You go to the store, who you gonna, you know, which one you gonna buy? Obviously, you probably gonna end up buying Hove. You know what I'm saying? That's Beanie Siegel's word. That's what Beanie said. So I went back and I looked at when everything was supposed to, in the chronological order of when everything dropped. Jay-Z Volume 3, Life and Times of Sean Carter, that dropped December 28th, 1999. Beanie Sigel, The Truth, that dropped February 29th, 2000. Jay-Z The Dynasty album, which was Beanie Sigel was featured on the last two albums I just mentioned. All right. Although I think Beanie Sigel even had the first single off of he was featured on the first single off of Volume 3, which makes it hilarious, right? The Dynasty Rock La Familia, that dropped October 31st, 2000. Then Beanie Sigel, he dropped The Reason May 26th, 2001, and then Jay-Z dropped 9/11/2001. He dropped The Blueprint. And then Beanie Sigel dropped March 29th, 2005. But Jay-Z was retired and didn't drop an album in 2005. Beanie Sigel was in prison. Then American Gangster dropped in 2007. Beanie Sigel dropped A Solution in 2007. And that was probably the closest Beanie Sigel, there was an old track on American Gangster. I think it was called Ignorant Ish. And Jay-Z put him on there. Not only did he do that, but he took him on tour with him during the American Gangster tour and had him open up. And had him on the album. I don't know, guys. You let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm I don't know, man. Like, I see it in the black and white. I would love to hear. I mean, we did hear Hove. We did hear Hove's response. You know what I'm saying? You can check it out on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I just reiterated it. But what do you guys think in the comments, man? Do you think Beanie Sigel tripping? Do you think Jay-Z could have did more to help Beanie Sigel in his career? Or do you think Beanie Sigel is, or do you think Hove is justified in the way that things played out? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. But until the next time, it's your guy, D to the A to the R to the N. Boop, 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 boop.
Escape global music. What are you escaping from?
Elm City, stupid.